Buckle up, Buttercup. Live from Gloucester, Massachusetts. Podcasting around the world. You're listening to the GloucesterCast podcast, a production of Joey Shimataro and Good Morning Gloucester Media. Kick back, relax, and enjoy the show with your host, Joey Shimataro, and his crew of merry castaways. No piping plovers will be intentionally harmed in the production of this podcast.
We're back. We got the sound. I'm sorry. What a dumb. I gotta hit.
So where's Chris McCarthy?
Yeah, let's do that.
Let's go back to that. Go ahead.
You missed a podcast for this?
So what, I don't know what's worse. What do you think, Joe?
I think it was when Joey forgets to hit the button for the mic.
Yeah,
we already did the joke, but the only thing worse than the Red Sox losing 3 in a row.
Especially after stealing one at Houston. It's GloucesterCast 528. It's a special Saturday edition. Thank you for joining us. Scotty Mack is with us.
Good morning, Gloucester.
We're going to talk about his special event coming up Friday night.
Yes. We'll get to that in just a few.
Joe Higgins, Fish Printer. 2 shops selling his awesome products, and he provided a bunch of swag for gifts today. Huge. This hat, nice. I'm loving this hat. This is not one of the prizes, but he did provide a black one. Super awesome with the tuna tail on it. A couple great high quality performance t-shirts right here. Just in time for Halloween, we print the dead fish. Get it?
And then we eat them.
And then we eat them.
Just to be politically correct.
That's right. No waste here.
Yeah, no waste.
Paul Gamber, DMD, is with us.
Good morning, Gloucester.
Paul, I got a question.
Yeah.
And we discussed this last week, actually, post-show off air.
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't know, as I did not know, what's the difference between DMD and DDS?
They're exactly the same.
And why is that?
Just depends on what school you went to. The DMD is a Latin term. Don't ask me to tell you what the Latin words are. And the DDS is Doctor of Dental Surgery, but the same degree, just different universities offer same degrees.
Never knew that when I asked you that, yeah.
Yeah.
We actually discussed that a week or two ago.
Yeah, on one of these podcasts.
I could have
talked about it a
been
little
tardy or absent from class.
You may have been here.
bit. Or your eyes might have been bleeding.
You may have been here. You might have been physically present, but mentally maybe not.
Your eyes were bleeding that day.
We also have these mugs that Wayne the mailman, these high quality, good sized mugs, like earthenware, I think you would call this. Nice navy blue in the middle. This one, and
Those are nice.
yeah, really nice, good quality. So 1 prize, 2 prize, t-shirt, 3 prize, hat, 4 prize, another t-shirt, 5 prize. And when we do this hazy report, we'll talk about these. All right. So then we'll talk about that in a little
Why
bit.
did Joe the mailman donate these? What's
Wayne-
his connection?
Wayne,
Wayne.
Wayne the mailman's a big fan of it. He's
So he
sometimes
just donates something to the show?
yeah,
Oh, awesome.
give back, a little give back.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Always pay it forward.
People get back. Want to go over the Bloody Mary contest, which we will be judging next Sunday, not this Sunday, next Sunday. Which a lot of people have a problem with that. Do you know what next Sunday?
Next Sunday's Halloween, Joe.
No, I know, but that morning
Is it Monday or Sunday?
It's Sunday.
it's Sunday because Ralph's wedding is Saturday.
Ralph's-
Not Ralph's son's
Ralph's
wedding.
wedding.
Not Ralph's son's wedding.
Can I ask you a
Ralph's
question?
wedding.
How are we going to judge Bloody Mary's post Ralph's son's wedding on Saturday night with an after party?
It's the perfect time to. That's exactly. When do you? I normally drink bloodies.
I couldn't actually. You know what? You're right.
On a hangover.
I could not think of a better time actually. Now that you mentioned,
That's absolutely
Yeah.
correct. Yeah.
Unless you're at an air supply.
strategically placed, maybe a little air supply in the background.
Speaking of Ralph, he couldn't be here today because he's been
Lockdown.
delegated to lockdown till this
Lockdown.
after his wedding's over.
I love that word. I love that everybody I know has been commenting on this. The wedding is Ralph's wedding. It is Ralph's wedding. And I haven't heard one person deviate from that as well either.
Have we gotten a report as to why Ralph is on lockdown until the wedding?
COVID. He's putting a lot of money into this wedding. This
Okay.
is going to be the event of 2021, as far as I'm concerned.
I just figured maybe there was like no antics or maybe no chance of him golfing and getting injured before the wedding or.
I think it's all
the above.
COVID thing more than anything. Crow's Nest. Oh, Annie Rochon
Annie.
is piping in.
Oh, let's hear it.
Coming in hot. Crow's Nest has the best Bloody Mary, she says. I personally agree, but we haven't tried these other bloodies.
We cannot be biased, but year to date, Crow's Nest hands down so far,
100%.
and that's why we're doing this contest. Maybe explore our horizons a little bit, expand them,
Yes.
so to speak. I want to thank Andy Rashawn and Steve Conti for coming down last week to the Crow's Nest for a Bloody Mary after hearing last week's report
Yeah.
and the unanimous decision, and putting a big smile on Greg and Marianne's face down there. Kind of being facetious on that one, but they love making the Bloody Marys. They do them from scratch. They put a lot of effort into those. So
Annie was disappointed he didn't enter the contest, though.
Yes. Very
Yeah.
disappointed.
Yeah.
Kate, my beautiful wife, Kate, chimes in with a nice comment right here. Nice hat, JoJo. I agree, Kate. I love this hat. JoJo gave me this hat. He also sells them at his shops in Salem, on Pickering Wharf, and on Bearskin Neck.
Yep.
How do you find them? Go to the website.
Go to the website. Just Google Joe's Fresh Fish Prints. And then you go.
Joe's
go there.
Fresh Prints. So let's go. We're going to go over it. So I originally said we're going to open it up and we're going to have, we're going to narrow it down to 3 contestants, and it's going to be a visual thing. People will vote. We'll nominate the top 3 to go to the actual judging round. Because we got four people entered.
Mhm.
I'm just going to have them all in. And these are the contestants. Bex Borden, our friend Bex lives up on Pilots Hill. Zorba, real name. I met this guy, Zorba,
great guy.
one of the owners of George's Coffee Shop and Bar. I think is that what they call it?
Can I just say right off the top that we have a guy named Bex and a guy named Zorba.
No, Bex is a woman, Rebecca.
A woman. I'm sorry. Oh, okay, Bex. That makes sense. I'm like, I've never heard the name Bex, BEX, the way it's written.
No, Bex is
Sorry, Bex.
professional. And Bex, I think, won the first. We had the first Good Morning Gloucester Bloody Mary contest we had was in 2013. and Bex was the winner. So we're coming out. She's
So she's a defending champ coming back to maintain her title.
Defending champ, exactly. She's big time.
This is as hard as the greasy pole to win it multiple times in a row.
Well, Kate says Bex is awesome.
If she gets a 2-time win, she might have to get a Bloody Mary tattooed on her back somewhere.
I like that idea.
Like Salvi Benson, 13, 15-time winner of the greasy pole, has the greasy pole tattooed on his back.
Entire back.
Yeah.
And he's happy to show every woman that goes into the crow's
Bex could have all the garnishes and
Oh, did you see it?
Oh, yeah, you showed it to me.
You did see it. Yeah. You've been to the crow's nest 3 times in your life. You've already seen the
Joe, have you
tattoo.
been to the
first
crow's nest?
Have I been to the crow's nest? I've been.
Have you been with us?
Yeah, you come with us one day.
Couple times.
No, okay, so
I still have a bunch of chips I can still.
there you go. So you collect? Are you a collector of the chips
I
and not an expender of the chips?
Well, I expend the chips that I get.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I just go.
I don't know. How about now? You've been a couple times now.
Yeah, and
So
at least the last time I remember being there.
You weren't just one and done.
No, I really like that place.
So did you have a bloody last week after we were talking about it?
We had
two. I think two is
Yeah.
the max on Bloody Marys for me anyway, personally.
Yeah.
They're so delicious and they're so filling that you just don't want to overdo it. And
Yeah.
then we switch off to whatever your regular beverage is after that.
Hi, Kate.
Yeah.
Kate.
What do you do, Joe? Are you a 1 guy, a 2 guy?
I like two.
2?
The acid, there's a lot of acid in tomato juice. Tomato in general is. I
have to admit, I've never had a Bloody Mary.
Higgins,
It's a texture thing. Tomatoes, I just can't do it.
tomato juice.
Yeah,
I don't like raw tomatoes. I love cooked tomatoes.
I know it's.
And tomato juice to me was something that I really wasn't into until going on vacation with the rabbit year in and year out, and we'd always be nursing hangovers. And he turned me on to the plane move. You do Bloody Marys on the plane.
on the plane.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and he's the first one to turn me
Maybe
on.
I should be a judge, because I've never, had one.
You
So
could
it'd
dislike
my-
every single one of
Yeah.
them.
My palate is clean.
I got blocked someone. We had some spam person.
Oh,
Kate's like, let's go to the nest, Joe. Yeah, I'd love to go to the nest, sweetheart. I'm stuck down the hole right here, though. Unfortunately,
Gamber, I'm in.
Yeah.
these guys.
We'll meet you there, Kate.
These guys as a matter of
Kate,
fact,
meet us there.
Yeah.
so my beautiful wife, Kate. I'm gonna go to the graphics here. Joe. There you go. Look at that.
Oh,
We
nice
did it.
graphic.
Look at
Hey,
that.
she looks just like the
Well
real
done.
estate agents that I was with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Joe. There's that. I'll leave that up for a few seconds. But Joe called her up. How was your interaction with Kate? Was she diligent? Was she
She was diligent.
responsive?
She was there before I was there, which is good. You need timeliness.
Testimonial right there. Now, did she get you if you asked her any questions, information? Did she get right on it?
Oh yeah, right on it. We were nice tour of the house,
Beautiful.
So let's get back to the other
needs a
contestants.
little bit of work. Anyway, sorry.
We're gonna get back to the other contestants. There was
Okay.
2 more.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh.
Thank you for that.
Yep.
Thanks for
I
keeping me on
digress.
track. Bex Borden, Zorba from George's Coffee Shop, Christy from the Manchester Legion, who Toby Pett I think was instrumental in getting her in there.
I have to tell you though, I do have a show coming up at the Manchester Legion on Friday, November 5th, I believe it is.
Oh, what kind of show?
We're gonna DJ and some karaoke.
Just
I've done one over there before.
open to anyone?
They do events. Yeah.
Do you have to be a member?
I don't think you do. It can be signed in by a member, and it's in the function hall, so I think it's open to the public on that one.
Manchester, those guys in Manchester should thank their lucky stars that they have that place, because they have
Great spot.
Yeah, it's a great spot. It's kind of like the Gloucester Elks.
Mm.
You can get a good drink there. It's regular guys, and they have events they have the football pool party there.
They just had recently the cardboard regatta, if I'm saying it right. Excuse me if I'm not, but
you build a boat out of.
it's like 15 years running where you build a boat out of cardboard and you have to.
They used to send me the pictures from that. I haven't got the pictures the last couple of years. Whoever's in charge of it, tell them to submit some photos.
I would go to the Manchester Legion Facebook page
All right.
and check it out and probably haul some photos from that.
Go to IKEA. All their furniture's made out of cardboard. Float that sucker down the river.
Who has not figured out that big pieces of furniture that need to be built and assembled from IKEA are not worth it. When you could go to like a antique store and buy some really solidly built, like
Refinish it.
Beautiful furniture that's
Or just steam clean it.
no, but you know what I mean. Like some of that furniture. Have you ever got pieces from IKEA that takes you like an hour to fucking assemble?
I just don't have the
Patience
to do. Yeah, there's so L7. It's like playing like scrap. Like, well, what is it? Sink your battleship or whatever.
It's an erector.
L7 to 3H on screw 4. You know.
I just cleaned up my basement and I had a couple pieces that I never got put together.
Yeah, it's still in the box.
There's always extra pieces.
I stuck them out on the curb to let some other poor soul get tortured.
New old stock.
Oh, so Kate says she wasn't telling me to go to the nest. She said she was saying you to go to the nest.
Ah,
Yeah.
got
Thanks, Kate. Thanks.
So Kate's out too.
Kate, no, Kate's ready to go. She's all in
to get a Bloody Mary.
to get a bloody.
Should go to the nest or come to the nest?
If it has a lot of meat and like,
It would be
Stop
come
it.
to the nest if she's already there.
Patrick McNally says, speaking of the Elks, Nellie's Bloody Marys with a large cocktail shrimp are awesome. Woodward Restorations does an amazing job. That's right. Kate's ex-husband, his mother, Becky, sweetheart of a lady, does furniture refinishing. Like if you got a piece that like maybe it just doesn't have the right color finish, or has like you don't have like an exposed wood thing, and you want to put like a paint, like a chalk paint on it. She does that kind of work. Does really nice work. Sam Fontero says, I enjoy the show, Joe. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed the show. Thank you for being with us.
Want to do a quick roll call while we're checking in?
We could do a quick roll
See
call.
who's chimed in so far and tuning in to us.
We got Arlie Pett, Paula Ryan O'Brien, Arlie Pett. Did I say that already? Paula Ryan O'Brien, Annie Rochon, Eileen Kelly, Andrew Weiner, Patrick McNeely, my beautiful wife Kate, Sam Fontero. There's a lot of Sam Fonteros. I'm not exactly sure which Sam Fontero that is. I grew up with a Sam Fontero. We used to play video games together. Nice guy. Ed College with it. Good morning, Ed College. And Betty Brooks Graver.
This is a good time to tell everybody to share the podcast about our prizes today.
And Eileen Kelly. I thought I said her, no?
No.
Ralph DeJojo. Is Chris having air supply on the show this morning?
You missed the opening, Ralph. You missed the opening.
I wonder if Ralph heard the opening when we talked about his wedding. I don't know.
Yeah, we were talking about your wedding and air supply. You missed the whole thing, Ralph. You late to
chime in if you're out there watching and you're not commenting. Just chime in for a minute. Let us know where you're at, where you're watching. Share the podcast. Everyone that shares the podcast is entered to win some of our fabulous prizes here today. And a lot of these prizes
we got a lot of prizes
donated from Joe Higgins.
We got 5 prizes today.
It's crazy.
One of Joe's awesome hats.
To quote you, bananas.
It's bananas. It's bananas. Come on, I gotta get the focus in it. Yeah. Oh,
look at that. That's nice quality.
Sweet cap right there. A couple of Joe's. These are performance tees. We print the dead with the striper print on there, and Wayne the Mailman with these really nice heavy duty mugs. Get in there. I'm like going lefty.
Might be picking me up.
Just want to have some, baby. Nice, good quality. So share the podcast and type shared in the comments, and you'll be entered to win. It's that easy. We have winners every single week. Sam Fortero, this is awesome. He just made a mention. So he grew up right next to me, and he had Atari, and I had Intellivision. I didn't have a Nintendo. I had Intellivision, Sam, and we used to go back and forth playing. And so I would get all the Intellivision cartridges. He would get all the Atari cartridges, play for hours.
What is Intellivision?
Yeah,
I don't think I've ever.
Intellivision?
Yeah.
That was like the next generation right after Atari came out.
Is that the one?
Yeah.
You right
It was like-
up
that was like an upgrade.
Coleco.
No.
Intellivision.
Intellivision was awesome. Yeah.
Never heard of Intellivision.
What's going on?
Something's going on with this. I bet didn't. Scotty, why don't you do a couple? I want you to go a couple moves. You can do the Stacey report. Talk about your event coming up.
All right. Well, we'll do the Stacey report. Should I do it in Jim's voice or my own?
I would love for you to do it in Jim's voice.
Sounds like Casey Kasem when he reads it. I love it.
That's right.
Hi, Jim.
And now,
Good morning.
A long distance dedication.
All right, so this is our SACY report for those that self-addressed stamped envelope. You can send one of those to us here at Good Morning Gloucester, and we'll ship one of these stickers out to you.
Pull the Joey move so you can get. Oh,
And
nice.
this is somebody that we have sent one of our stickers out to, and it looks like we have a note today. And as you can see, they followed the rules. There is a stamp on there, and Andrew Weiner. All right, we're gonna go ahead and make. I don't want to get your address on there for everybody, but this week's SACY is Dear Joey C. and the Wicked Pisser Crew. All right, Wicked Pisser Crew. We're actually called the Merry Castaways, but close enough. We'll go with that today. But I like I like the efforts. Thank you, Andrew. I love watching all of you on Sundays. Unfortunately, I work on Sundays, so it's hard at times. Keep up the great work. Well, lucky for you, Andrew, we're filming on Saturday this week.
And
Is
he's
that
here.
Andrew?
And he's here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, he's with us.
And he's
And
with
he's here.
us, so thank you
Oh,
for watching.
see-
We saw your name out there, and
See, he got the memo though that
Yes.
we love the notes.
so we're going to send him a sticker. And what we did last week, we actually, and the coasters, and what we did last week, we actually signed a note back to the person for the SACY
right.
report.
You know what?
Right.
And-
Throw in an octopus sticker.
Oh, look at this, Joe.
Oh, nice.
Couple coasters
Throw
and
that in too.
Have you done a printed of an octopus?
this is what you get when you're part of the team here. This is what happens.
Wait, let's talk about that. Doing a print of an octopus.
So
Who's done an octopus print?
I would know that, but you know what I'm going to do right now? I'm going to go and I'm going to put in the thing, a link, so all the people can check out his website, www.fished with an ED impressions.com.
That's .com. That's it.
Boom, right there. There's the link. Coasters too.
Damn, I win.
You do win.
Oh, you got
Oh, we already
We
did
did.
this.
you got served.
Huh?
You got served.
Yeah, you got served. Sorry, Kate.
So don't forget all this. See, when you send us SACYs and you get the Good Morning Gloucester sticker, you get all this other stuff. It pays to be a Good Morning Gloucester listener.
40 cents worth. Plus the coasters, we're up to about a 67-cent win right there. Minus cost of stamp. How much fun are the ahead?
Coffee back there. Thank you very much. Did you talk about your event?
No, I was waiting for you, Joe,
All right. So Scotty,
because you were right excited about
so
this
I should
one.
mention that I ran into actually Adam Hayes came down the wharf and your name came up.
Uh-oh.
Scotty Mack's name came up, and he said that he saw you at the Magnolia Pub, and it was nice talking to you and everything. And as a matter of fact, he also saw that you DJ'd a wedding for Billy Beejan, was it?
Bill Beejan, yes.
Billy Beejan from
Wonderful.
Manchester, and he
Wonderful
said that this is not provoked from me. He said, Jesus, he did a really great job. That
Oh,
Billy
wow.
Beejan was the groom was nervous ahead of time about the playlist or whatever. Scotty you had told him, don't worry about it. I got this. And Adam Hayes said, an endorsement, unprovoked by me, said, "What you had the place jumping. It was awesome."
Thank you, Adam.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's really nice to hear. I
Yeah.
appreciate that, Adam. I'd be remiss if I did not mention that Adam Hayes was the officiant of the wedding, and he was nervous as well. And he stuck the landing. I mean, we got the microphone set up for him. He nailed it. Threw a bit of personal information and comedic anecdotes in, and then the heartfelt stuff and the official stuff for the state that you have to do. So nice job, Adam Hayes, too.
There you go.
And did you set up all the sound for that and everything?
I did. I was very
Yeah.
instrumental in setting up the sound.
Did you rock air supply?
I did, you know what?
Yeah.
I did not. Nor will I in the future. So,
What about Christopher Cross?
I don't know.
I love
He's
that
on,
guy.
He's on the do not playlist.
That guy on Wedding Crashes, the band that they always have, and it's
Turn around every now and then.
he swears he goes off the rails.
Oh, you know who that was? Now we're gonna turn it over to George Stitzer on lead vocals. That's
Yeah, it was awesome.
and he played the keyboard.
Wedding Crashes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
my
that
God.
was it.
Great movie. But anyway, to get to the point, Friday night, October 29th, my birthday, you are hosting on the Beauport Cruise Lines a back to the 80s Halloween costume party.
Oh, you better believe it.
It's going to
I
be
think we have a graphic for that, actually.
bananas. Let's put the
drop that
graphic up. So that way there, if you don't remember, you could scroll back to this segment right here.
Now, I've done an 80s cruise
Boom.
on Beauport Cruise Line before. It was very successful. And we do not really stray from the 80s music at all. I mean, it was so much terrible music, but we weed all that out and we play the good stuff.
Like Air Supply.
Like Air Supply. Probably.
I love it.
It's a joke that keeps on
But
giving.
It is too.
Which is nice. But yeah, every genre from new wave to hair bands to metal.
Flock of Seagulls?
Flock of Seagulls. I run to you.
Aha
was in there. Yeah.
Rick
Safety
Astley?
Dance.
Rick Astley.
Oh,
yeah.
never gonna give you up. Yeah, Rick Astley's definitely in there. I saw a meme recently. I
Where
think
can
I
people-
sent it to you.
People get tickets?
Rick Astley. Let me just get to
Rick
this
rolled.
anecdote.
There's a thing called Rick Rolled.
That vote for Rick Astley because, and it says, never going to give you up, never going to let you down,
Yeah.
never going to turn around. And then he goes through all the lyrics, and that's why you should vote for Rick Astley.
Ah, there you go.
So, and I'm sorry, your question.
How do people get tickets?
You go to BeauportCruiseLines.com.
All right.
They have a reservation system right there on the website. I'm not sure the pricing on the tickets, but the cruise is from 6 till 9 p.m., so you still have time to get home to the kids if you decide to come out, or find a sitter and stay out all night. What the hell? But everybody dressed in costume. It's really cool to see, like, the different costumes that people came up with to represent the 80s, because there was a lot of different years and different phases in the 80s. And then we all joined the after party at the Crow's Nest after, and they all came over in costume. It was pretty crazy. It was cool. Imagine, but some people don't even have to dress up; they're still stuck in the '80s. So show up as yourselves.
Jesus, you know something? I don't know that we have plans for Friday night. This could happen.
And ladies and gentlemen,
You don't have
that
plans?
is the Bang Report.
That is the Bang Report.
That's the
right
Bang
there.
Report.
Look who's joining us. Come on in. Ron Gilson's with us.
Oh, listen.
Come on, Ron. We're live.
Wait a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We need one more for
Right.
7-card stud.
Come on in. I'll go to the other side of the thing. You guys.
As long as it's not straight poker. How you doing, John?
Take a seat.
I
Take
know
a
who
seat.
you are.
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Ron Gilson.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm Paul.
Paul? I'm
How
Carl.
we doing, young man?
Nice
Great to
meet
see you, Ron.
Hello.
I'm glad you're seeing me. I'm
I'm
here.
Carla.
What an entrance!
Hi, Carla.
What an
Yeah.
entrance by
Yeah.
Ron Gilson. I love it.
Huge. Big.
And
Ron, how are you? And Carla.
are you kidding me? On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm about 11 and a half.
He's bringing the energy. I love it. Bringing the energy, kid.
I brought you buttons.
Buttons.
You gotta wear
Oh,
the
everybody
buttons,
put the
man.
button on.
Absolutely.
All right.
Pass out the buttons.
The
So
Gloucester
anyway,
28.
so what's happening?
One for you.
Oh, everybody put on the button.
We're just talking about the 80s right now.
Oh my God, we're dating
Oh, my
ourselves.
The 80s.
Oh,
So
In the
1980s.
The
Hey.
1980s. Not the
Hey.
80s.
Let me tell you something about the 80s.
Very well.
Ron Gilson
What for
in the
you?
1980s was one of the pioneers kicking off the whole restaurant scene in Gloucester,
Oh.
Massachusetts. Opened up
Union
the
Hill.
Union Hill Coffee
Union Hill.
Shop.
September 17th, 1981. The fall.
Right in the heart of it.
Gangbusters.
Who remembers the Union Hill Banjo Band?
That was him.
Hey!
Hey!
All right.
Scotty, that was
I
tremendous.
just happen to have an extra picture for you.
Who are the members of the Union Hill Banjo Band? I think Robert Wynot was in there, wasn't he?
Bob, why not?
And we had to put up with him. Yes,
Yeah,
he was
well, I
there.
mean, somebody has
He
to.
was, yeah, why not? Yeah. You know, he had some outstanding jokes. Anyway, that's another story.
Okay, sure.
Mhm.
So, Carly, we're here to talk about what?
We're
Yeah,
here to
Carla. You're on.
segue to me.
Now let me introduce my friend Carla.
Oh, okay. Let him. I'd rather have him do all the talking. He's the eloquent one.
3 years ago, I was invited to join the board of directors for the Friends of Rose Baker. Okay, that's elderly installation down Main Street. Anyway, I joined the board of directors, and who's sitting alongside of me but Carla?
Moi.
So we all shook hands and I welcome aboard and so forth. And then I said, well, Paula.
Which is my sister's
And
name.
she said, I'm not Paula.
5
I'm
years
Carla.
older.
So that immediately told the whole board that, this guy's a little senile. He can't get his name straight. But nevertheless, we got along like peas in a pod. A couple days later, I'm at home and I'm saying, I says, Carla Grillo. Why do I?
Only
Carla
good things.
Grillo?
Only good things.
So, dating back to June of 1966.
He's dating himself.
I'm at Newell Stadium, and this guy approaches me, an ex-Marine, Larry Collins, a great guy. We went to school together, but he was 2 years old. He says, Ron, President Lyndon Baines Johnson has created the Great Society. We're going to eradicate poverty around the United States. And they've started up a community action program in Gloucester. And Joe Palazzola, who was the director, the first director, a kidney recipient, totally disabled with 10 children. He's the director. He's out often with dialysis and so forth, and they're looking for a deputy director. Why don't you apply? Well, at the time, I had a miserable job, and I did apply, and I was appointed, and blah, blah, blah. Who sits on the board of directors and is a professional advisor? None other but
My father.
Ah.
He was going to get to it.
Joe Grillo.
Found his way there.
Joe Grillo.
It took him about 20 minutes.
Yeah.
He found his way there.
Listen now.
He loved my dad. My dad used
Joe
to be.
Grillo was on the board of directors, not paid, He's also a former mayor of the city of Gloucester in 1952.
Years ago, before any of us were alive.
1952.
Even before I was alive.
Yeah.
And I'm much
Whenever
older than you.
I'm so old, Joe, you know what I mean? I know all these old guys, right?
Yeah.
Not Abraham Lincoln, but almost. Anyway, I said, Carla, how old were you in 1966? And I don't want to tell you what she said, but she was an infant when her father was with me. Joseph Grillo was mayor of the city of Gloucester. He owned and operated a Joson Sportswear Company over here at Beacon Marine Basin.
Marine Basin. He did that for years.
Basin.
You also would be much more impressed by my grandfather. Because
Yeah.
my grandfather was dear friends with Joe Garland, and he was the oldest living sea captain here in Gloucester. When he died, Garland did his eulogy, Captain Morton Seelig. He was the last, he did all the Elsie, that was his command. What do you call it? The old beam trawlers, that was his bailiwick. But he lived until 100 years old and just passed away in, I guess 1990. But I do come from good peasant stock.
But we should back up a little bit.
Yes.
The pin says,
Yes.
who are
The
the
Gloucester
Gloucester 28?
Yeah.
I don't want to say too much, but I'm one of them.
Yes.
So what you see is what you get,
Yeah.
at least partially.
So let's give us the idea behind the
Sure.
Gloucester 28.
Sure. So, as Ron says, we're both on the board of it's called the Friends of the Gloucester Council on Aging, otherwise known as the Friends. It's way too much to say. So we're a nonprofit. We're purely a charitable corporation. We're not affiliated with any government entity, state or federal for that matter. Everyone who's on our board, there's about 10 or 12 people on the board. We meet down at the Rose Baker Senior Center. Excuse me. But everyone on our board is a volunteer. We're not paid. We're not on payroll. Any of the projects that we work on throughout our existence, and by the way, it's been in existence for about 33 years.
Oh, wow.
Done really good works. I encourage everyone. I'm sure you've got an audience here. Either are you live streaming right now?
Yeah, you're live.
Hi, everyone. But I encourage everyone, if you're not familiar with the Friends, please go to the Friends website. It's friends of the GCOA.org, GCOA meaning Gloucester Council on Aging. Again, we're a charitable organization. No one makes a dime off of any projects, for example, this book.
How do people support this?
So it's a book. There's a book.
Now, how do you support it?
Okay. Number one is go to our website. It's right there on your pin there.
Joe, you'll put that up, right?
pastasapresent.org is the website for the book that you can pre-order. You can also go to the...
Go ahead.
Cool.
Go to this one. No, go to this one. There you go.
See if you can get the website on there, Joey. It's in that lower corner there.
I gotta get out of the frame.
Very neat. I love our graphic designer did a great job on that.
So there's no federal or state funding for you guys? It's
No,
all
It's
donations from private citizens.
it's all
We'll
donations.
post that. We'll
Donations
post
from private citizens, donations from sponsorships, corporate sponsorships, through affiliations with various groups that help us fund programs.
Yeah.
But our mission, that's a great question, because a lot of people, get confused. They think that we're affiliated with the city. We're not. We have, by definition, since we're a nonprofit, we have to be arm's length.
But I think the most interesting part about this whole thing is
You've
created a book. And in the book, you've profiled 28 unbelievable, the great generation, a profile of these incredible people that have made so much impact in the city of Gloucester.
Yes.
This is the point. Like
Thank
the nonprofit status and everything else is
Thank you.
secondary. What we want to talk about is some of the characters
Absolutely.
in this book. Ron
You
Gilson
got one
being
of them. You got one of them.
So
But-
did Ron help? Did you write the book?
Yes, I did.
So you wrote the book, and so did you interview each one of these people, or
Yes.
are they all alive, or how did that work?
Okay, great questions. So over 500 hours of interview time has been conducted with the 28 people. At the time, we've been doing this for 5 years. When we first started interviewing people, it was back in April of 2017. So it took a lot of time.
Wow.
And the profiles per person, on average, it took about 30 hours to interview them, to write
Wow.
it, to edit it, etc. By the way, I should qualify it. Of the 28, I wrote the majority of them. I did have contributing writers helping out occasionally, particularly when I was going through surgery. So I had to have help at that point. Bad knee. So
Must be just fascinating, some of the stories, because Ron had moved away.
Yes,
But he's been a joy to have in the office because we missed him so much.
he loves you, Joey.
No, well, Frank and
Just-
he's like a third grandfather to us, but he comes down and
Yeah.
he just goes on and on with these fantastic stories
So-
about the way Gloucester was, and it, like, you feel the way it, like in the Gloucester's heyday.
That's why we did it.
And so, Ron, who are some of the other guys? These are some of your buddies.
Well,
Can you
I'll
name some
tell
of
you
the
the
characters in
story.
the book?
Bobby Quinn.
Bobby Quinn, Robert Quinn, was a high school classmate of mine, but he was also in the first grade
I was
in
going
the
to say we
Hilda
went to the
School
first grade together.
in Eastern Avenue. He lived on Scott Street. I lived on Eastern Avenue. It was a neighborhood school.
Was that the Para Research Building?
No,
No.
I went there also.
I went to Eastern
That
Avenue
wasn't the
School.
Eastern Avenue School,
No.
because I just assumed that's what you were talking about.
Wait a minute.
That's why I asked. Yeah.
Wow,
The
good
Hilda
question.
School is a Masonic lodge.
Temple.
Oh,
That's
And
where I went to school. And that's
That
where Bob Quinn.
foundation that didn't burn, they built a lodge above it. I lived next door at 31 Eastern Avenue. And Bobby Quinn lived on Scott Street, which is across the street from Rose's, just up from Nick's Lunch. There's a anyway.
remembers all
Scott
this.
Street is down close to the
love
Hilda School.
Yeah.
We were classmates all through school. We also went to Para Research, which in my day was the AP Lufkin School,
Oh, interesting.
renamed the Eastern
Eastern
Avenue School, and then Para Research bought.
What era was that? Would you say?
Eastern Avenue
What
was the
era? Well,
60s.
Both schools, actually.
First grade for me was 1939.
Wow.
So
So in the mid
39.
'70s, I was at Eastern, but the Para Research Building being considered the Eastern Avenue School.
Absolutely.
Eastern Avenue, yes. That's
I
right.
went there in the 60s, Joey. So
Yeah.
it just, but this is what we
Yeah.
went through. In the interviews of people, they took you back in time, some people to the 1920, Barbara Maddox, 1924. She's talking to me about
Yeah.
growing up here
Well-
in Gloucester.
Well, that must have been the '20s here. Must have been.
So I walked into
And we've
the,
got photographs.
I walked into the senior center, and there's Bobby, my classmate. Well, Bobby, how you doing? Well, I'm down here with my profile. I made a few corrections and this and that. I said, oh, great. They're going to profile you? Yes. Well, that was printed that month in the monthly bulletin. So when I read this,
And there was
I-
competition between
So-
the two of them. Oh, yours
so-
is bigger than mine. What do we got?
Of course it
I-
Oh my
I knew-
God.
I knew Bobby Quinn.
That's hilarious.
We were little kids together. Well, Bobby Quinn, in his profile, put every nut and bolt, every nook and cranny. He covered everything. I said, my goodness, this guy's been an achiever. So when the interviewer came to my house, I said, now listen, I'll tell you everything I know, but we're not going to do a picayune nitpicking thing like you did with, I think she did it, with Bobby Quinn. But she only took the information he gave her. I said, we're painting this picture with a broad brush, and that's it. So that's the difference between the interviews. But anyway.
I think they both came out really well.
So I have a follow-up question. Now, we actually have a show notes in front of us, as you can see, in
Cool.
which we come up with topics. We're on what's called a text thread now. Anytime we come up with a random idea, it makes the board, and then we pick. So with this line of questioning about the schools and what era were you in and what life was like at that time, I'm going to pull one of our questions off of our show notes, and I'm curious to see what your answer is.
Okay.
And then I'm also going to go to you as well.
Nice.
And we'll
The
go down.
death row sub and the death row meal.
No, he's been on
You
before.
know about that?
He's been on before, so
I've heard this.
he's no virgin here. But the question is, what was your favorite television show as a child? What was going on at that time when you were a child? What were you watching? I know there's only
Interesting.
like 1, 2, or 3
Well,
channels at
I'll
the time,
tell you,
right?
First of all, when I was a little boy and World War II was going on and Pearl Harbor and all that business, well, there was no television.
Okay, wow,
There was
yeah.
no television. So we had the radio. That's what we had. And my grandfather lived with us. He was a widower, and his daughter, my mother, took him in, and Gramp had the radio on 8 days a week. Okay? And
What were your shows?
I thought once the World War II was over, there'll be no more news, and I won't have to listen to this constant Philco blaring. Well, 1947 came
That's
in,
funny.
and television came in. And the only guy in the neighborhood that had a television was a guy by the name of Bill LaFawn, who lived up the top of Fair Street. Prime location for an antenna to get the baseball games, Red Sox primarily. And my father was a Red Sox
We
fan.
won't mention that.
And we
Bad topic.
were
No, that happened to
Calling
be an
him.
Air Supply fan, dude.
That's fucking nice. Okay. So anyway, I can see that around the living room in LaFawn's house at the top of Fair Street, there'd be 30 neighbors. His wife would be making the popcorn, and we'd all be sitting Indian style, if you will, on the floor watching this snowy picture. Well, that's what
And that was the best reception at the time?
Yeah.
that
Wow.
was. Now, the best program. This
This is the butter right here. This is the
$64,000 question.
I remember.
Do you remember that?
no.
I remember.
Well,
I've heard of
there
it.
was a glass
Me too.
booth, and an expert on boxing came in. Put him in the glass booth, and now for $64,000, who did Max Schmeling fight in 1928 and beat with one arm tied behind his back. And the music would play, and the perspiration would come on this guy's face, and my father would say, God, I know the answer to that question. I think I do. That's my father. I loved him, okay? And the guy would say, so-and-so, you are right for $64,000. Oh, I said to my father, yeah.
Is that the theme song?
Oh my
Is this
God.
the theme song, right?
That is,
Yeah.
you just pulled that up. Very cool.
Okay. All right. So I said to my father, Dad, that's all. That's
Nice
fake.
touch.
That was very nice.
These guys are all
Class
crap,
act.
you know. Then we had this woman that come on. She was a psychologist, Dr. So-and-so, and she answered biblical questions, you know. My father drank it up, you know. Oh, Dad, it's a phony program. Years later, while he was still alive, it came out it was a total fraud. It was all, you know, it was all
Fix.
okay. My
Fix is
mother,
in.
on the other hand,
It's very funny.
every afternoon, every night, like Saturday night, with Mitch Miller,
Oh, yes.
and what was the name? Mitch Miller and his
Mitch Miller
chorus.
Band, wasn't it?
I
Mitch
want to go
Miller
back
and
to the $64,000 question for just a minute. Was that the television show where they suspected the guy was a CIA operative in real life
I don't
with the
know.
host?
It could be.
I think there was
Yeah, it could have been.
or a secret agent, or so to speak.
I didn't hear
Well,
that.
listen, my mother
I
would
could be wrong
there.
on the show, but it was during.
Sing along with Mitch, and this guy would come
That
out
was-
with a beard, and the chorus would sing. Leslie Uggams would sing. That was what we watched. It was. I call those years the innocent years. We were innocent people, not like.
And what age were you at that time? With like that? Was the television the interesting part, or it was the age where there was not much else going on the interesting part, and that's what you
Well,
did?
no,
Or
there was a lot of things going on,
okay,
but they manufactured their own entertainment. In 1951, when I graduated from high school, that spring, I was practicing in an orchestra. There were more saloons, bars in the city of Gloucester than you can name or mention. Okay, and every Friday and Saturday night, these orchestras, live music played in the Paramount Cafe, the Wayside Inn,
I've heard
the
of
Elks
Paramount.
Club, the Moose Club, the Paramount, Jerry Packerman Quinn's Orchestra. Oh, I'm
Was
telling
that where
you.
the Blackburn Tavern was?
No,
Paramount? Or-
no. The Paramount Cafe is where the Perfect Storm.
Oh, the Crow's Nest.
The
Crow's,
Crow's
That
Nest.
was
right.
my other
That's,
guess. Yeah.
that's a new building, the Crow's Nest.
Uh-huh.
But the Paramount Cafe was right on the corner of Harcourt, and I was a little kid.
You just had them on
and
for
I
the
would
Bloody
come
Marys.
home.
right?
Yes, that's why I was.
That place would be.
Did they
would be
win?
Jumping. I'd sit on the stoop
Didn't have it yet.
and
Okay.
listen to the music. I could hardly wait till I get old enough that I can go in there and dance. That was all around the city. In the summertime, right down the street, the Delphine Hotel. Sarah Vaughan sang in the Delphine Hotel, and myself and a guy by the name of Donnie Oakes went over there,
Who was my
and
uncle?
we were served. I was a kid, and I
Mhm.
was served a highball, and they said that Sarah Vaughan came on, and after 17 martinis, and she stood out on that
Oh, boy.
stage and sang like a bird. Okay, in the summertime, that was to entertain.
Weren't these
the
great
rich
stories?
folk.
I love it.
I
I
listened
love
to
it,
this
yeah.
for hours.
So-
I could.
So I don't want to
did.
hog. I don't want to hog the interviews and the questions. But Joe or Paul, do you guys have any questions?
Well, what's the biggest story that, like, when one of these guys told you the story, you're like, oh, I can't wait to put this in a book and put it to paper?
Oh, man, there are so many. Just I'm thinking through.
Thank you.
It definitely his stories. Fishing stories. Again, he lived during the age of, with my grandfather. The racing schooners. The Gertrude L. Tebow, the Blue Nose. They'd all go up to the races up in Canada.
The
and
Nova Scotia.
The Nova Scotia, right? Just the majesty of it all. They lived through it. We can only read about it.
Right.
And I would just be fascinated listening to hours, him talking about his stories about the waterfront.
Are there any illustrations in the book? Because, I only read books for the pictures.
Yeah. It's truly amazing.
No, I mean, but do you have some old photographs or illustrations in there for people to, oh, wow,
they
that's
brought
great.
them in. This is what's taken so long to write it, because not only did we spend time listening to stories, and obviously you have to cull through them and edit them, but then every person brought in their childhood photographs. I have a picture of him when he was 2 years old, going back into the 1930s. Everyone brought in childhood photographs, brought in Gloucester during the 30s, the 40s, the 50s. So it's all, we've got historical archival footage as well as contemporary photographs of the mob.
And it's all different types of stories, not just fishing related, it's life related, and the characters of town,
Absolutely.
and all different walks of lives and what was going on with their livelihood and their personal lives and all that.
Totally
Excellent.
Eclectic. Wow. Just in terms of demographics, it's not just Sicilians, even though we have 6 Sicilians that we've interviewed, but we have Portuguese background, we have Irish,
wow.
We have people who were born in Chile. Yeah, that's
what schooner is this?
That's the Adventure.
That's the Adventure. Wow.
The original
Adventure. This up here
Get
for
it
a
on
minute.
there. Might be focused.
Can they see it? It looks like it's a.
Oh, there you go.
There we go.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a.
That's
Thank
the
you.
Adventure in 1951, February in
He's got a better cell phone
1951,
than I do.
leaving Boston Fish Pier, and I was aboard there as a guest, not as a fisherman. As a 17-year-old boy, I was aboard there to see how this business was because it was fading. This picture was taken, and
That's a great photograph, and that's in the book.
That will be in the
no,
book.
I don't know.
Okay.
There's myself and the skipper of that boat in 1988, Leo Hines. 50 odd years
Thank
later.
you. I would.
Is the book out now?
Go ahead.
No, we're still editing. We're hoping to try to get it out by the holidays. We'll see.
And then how are people going to be able to get it?
They can get it again online. They can get it at the Rose Baker Senior Center. Just
Okay.
bring a check, and the books will be there. But so those are the two ways.
Online through the COA?
Through the pastasapresent.org.
Pastasapresent.org.
I think I speak for GMG because, well, we're the only ones here at the moment, Paul.
We're required to.
We would be honored if you did an autograph signing of one of the books that we could continuously promote.
Thank you.
For the show on here.
That would be wonderful.
And get those stories out there that you worked so hard to compile, and especially with the history of people like yourself,
How many dozen books would you like to have?
That's
Where do you want
I don't
us
think
to
I have a
land
big
the-
enough backpack
Where do you want us to land
to
the
cover
pack?
your entire lifespan. Joe, you got a question?
Let's see. Do I have a question? What area has changed the least in Gloucester?
That's a good one.
Well,
The
That's a good
bars.
question.
The bars.
yeah.
churches.
Well,
All the bars have
The
changed.
churches.
I mean, I
I said
can't.
you had 120 at one time. We have two
Then
we
left,
got-
I
yeah,
think.
two left.
Like I have a studio over in Rocky Neck,
Yes.
and I see pictures like at the Beauport of that area, and it doesn't seem like it changed that much.
Well,
to me.
to me, Rocky Neck, first of all, I was in the insurance business, and Rocky Neck was one of my insureds, and I was there for claims and so forth every day of the week from 1972 to 1986. So for those years, but I've been around a lifetime. But anyway, to me, the whole waterfront, there's signs on Main Street that say this way to the working waterfront. Let me tell you, any resemblance between this working waterfront and the working waterfront that I grew up in, there's no resemblance.
Yeah.
The whole industry is gone. It's the last remnants of this lobster business here, and these two guys that are that are trying to make it happen are continuing. Okay. Other than that, there's things going on, but nothing like what we have.
So, Joe, welcome back, Joey, host of Good Morning Gloucester. The reason why we do this here at Captain Joe and Son Wharf is because Joey actually works on Sundays, but he switched for Saturday this week, and hence we're here. The question that we're currently in the middle of with everybody here is that Joe asked, what is the part of town that has changed the least historically in his
What
lifetime?
did you say?
Well, I
I said which one changed the most.
I digressed as usual, so I didn't
What a
answer the question. and these talented guys are jamming me, and I always say at my age you have to bear with me a little.
That's the preface.
It takes a little bit for recall.
Chris Thompson says Dogtown.
Yeah.
Probably accurate.
Yeah.
Did I would be remiss if we didn't ask her what her the death row sub and death row meal would be, unless you did it while I was.
We did not. That's your segment, and you were very instrumental in that, Joe. So we're going to have you do that right now, actually.
So
Cool.
Are you familiar with this segment?
I am indeed.
All right.
Yeah.
So why don't you shoot away? Death row sub.
Well, for the viewers that are here that are tuning in for the first time, maybe you want to explain what we're doing for you first.
Death row sub. The premise is, the premise is for any podcast virgins, they come on and they give us their, if they have to imagine themselves on death row, and the warden comes in and says, "We'll get you a sub from any place, anywhere, but it can't be like home cooked. You need to name the retail establishment where it's coming from and what the actual order would be." We do the same thing for death row meal. It has to be a restaurant, not Mama's Cooking. So we're going to go right to you.
Definitely yellow sub. I would get tuna with very, very simple tuna with tomato, lots of salt. That's how I have my sub there.
Tomato and salt.
Yeah.
Interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah. Generally with a beer.
Oh,
Got to have a beer with it.
wow.
So that would be
Nice.
my day.
There you go.
And always, you can't get sushi there, but my to die for meal, if it's my last meal on this planet, sushi and beer. That's how I want to go out. How about you?
No. You didn't say the death row meal. Where it
Oh.
was from.
Sushi, though, but not
sushi.
where. We need to know where.
Do you have a your go-to sushi place where, like, I'm on death row, I want that sushi?
Yeah, I locally I love Midori.
You know something? Midori has
Midori's.
come up several times.
Yeah.
It has been recently renovated, from
Yeah.
what I understand.
Yeah.
Was that kind of?
I know the studio is great. I mean, it's a toss-up. I love the studios, but Midori's closer to where I live. I'm over towards.
So
that,
Midori is where Joe Popcorn's grocery store used to be.
Yeah.
My grandfather's place, where Pat Center Grocery used to be on Washington Street.
Pat-
In that block.
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about?
What about?
You asked where Midori was.
Oh, really? Yes.
So it's in that plaza where they put a 7-Eleven or
Yes. Oh, really?
Tedeschi's Food Mart now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they do
Okay.
great delivery. I order 2-3 times a week.
Wow.
That's,
So I'm looking forward to. They still do the buffet, Scotty?
At Midori?
Yeah.
I'm not positive on that.
They do.
They do?
they do.
Okay. I haven't been in since pre-COVID, so.
I haven't been in since they did
Yeah.
the renovation, but I know there's a lot of construction guys that go there for lunch for that
Yeah.
buffet. And it's, there's like, well, you say Chinese food, a lot of like these Chinese food places are very similar. There seems to be a notch above Midori. That would be, Midori's my go-to.
I've heard
Chinese
nothing
Yeah.
but good things about Midori.
Their sushi is excellent. It's fresh. It's the only place I trusted during COVID.
Wow.
I thought literally, they'd deliver to me, and
From what I understand, they have a little bar in there as well.
Yeah.
oh yeah,
So I
up
haven't.
front bar.
So did they configure any of the seating that was in there, or is it they just put more of a updating of the like the paint colors and freshen the place up? Or
They
reconfigure
did a
it?
little reconfiguration,
Yeah.
and like you mentioned, the bar is pretty cool.
How many seats would you say they have?
I'd probably say 50.
At the bar?
No, oh no, I thought you
Oh,
meant
wow.
the restaurant
Yeah,
itself.
no.
The bar,
So if we went in with the GMG crew, we have 5 or 6
oh
rolling
God,
deep.
yeah,
We could all sit
10
there, take over the bar.
10, 12 people easily. Yeah.
All right, great.
Yeah.
Chris Thompson says they're not doing the buffet anymore.
Oh, interesting.
We'll have to find. We'll have to do some investigative reporting.
I thought they
on
did. But I love.
over a few Mai Tais.
that. Or a few Mai
Yeah.
Tais
Yeah.
and some sushi. All about it. I should do a shout out to my guy Sushi Sang. Hey, my daughter Eloise. We have a share a love of sushi.
Oh, cool.
And she requested Sushi Sang last night, and we got it on the way home. And fire pit, Sushi Sang, omakase. It was fantastic.
Joey, I'm going to have to defer to Paul Gamber on this one because you're behind the desk. But Felicia says, please give my friend Ron a big hug for me. Ron is the best.
Oh,
Sister Felicia.
Paul Gamber by proxy.
Ron, get up, baby.
You gotta,
Big hug.
I'm a big
That's
hugger.
from Felicia.
This is from
You gotta
Felicia.
pretend this is Felicia.
This is from
Oh.
Felicia. Big hug.
A little
Is
different.
that good, Felicia?
Joey,
Nice.
Joey, when I grow up, I want to be just like this guy. Yeah, I'm just as big.
Good job. Nice work, Scott.
I
Nice
gotta
job,
tell you,
Paul.
I gotta tell you this one story, okay?
Here we go.
We landed at Logan and we got picked up by this gal, nice gal. She took us to Gloucester, and I walked into this guest cottage, and our guest said, "Well, we have supper for you." Not before I had dispatched Susan to Virgilio's to get 4 Italian subs heavy with oil
Yeah.
and your partner Frankie's recipe that he gave me, and I can't tell you what it was, but I passed it to the guy at the counter the first time I went. She came back with 4 submarine sandwiches. Our guests, our people that entertained us, said, "We already have lobster rolls and clam chowder for you." I won't tell you from what restaurant, but it was absolutely delicious. We've been pecking away on those 4 subs since we've been here. Breakfast, supper, whatever, but we've had quarters of those subs ever since we've been there. And for me and my part, an Italian submarine sandwich
From where?
with extra oil from Virgilio's
Virgilia.
St.
is my
Joseph's
cup of
sandwich.
tea.
So St. Joseph sub.
I don't like the St. Joseph roll. I think I get more sub with a longer roll.
Interesting.
Ooh.
Interesting.
So
No,
I'm
because a
a-
lot of people
That's
get
funny.
the St. Joseph roll, and then I've heard of people that actually turn the top of it upside down
yeah.
so that they don't ruin the top of their mouth because they get those 4 points at the top,
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
really crusty.
I don't-
Okay.
And,
I've done it myself.
I think if you're not a true Gloucester like hardcore townie if you haven't had the roof
Damage
of
the
your mouth
roof of your mouth.
completely damaged from a St. Joseph sandwich. Yeah.
I just think there's more
Making me
value
very
in
hungry.
the long sub and being a baby of the Depression, a Depression baby. I'm always looking for extra value.
Big value guys.
Mhm.
Hey, big value. We're big value guys. Huge value guys.
Don't bring Joey with you. He'll take a couple bites of it just to
Yeah.
test it out.
Ron, where can people get this book, the Gloucester 28?
Well, it's still in the editing phase,
okay.
so we won't be able to. We're hoping we can have something ready for the holidays. It may be
Are you looking to
first
do
quarter.
pre-sales at all? Because
What-
sometimes people can do that.
Yeah, we're doing pre-sales online. If you go to the website again, pastorsapresent.org, we actually,
See, I'll try.
just after your
And
article,
there's the website.
we sold
there.
probably 20 books
From my article?
just from your
the
article.
post,
So
the blog
thank
post?
thank
All right,
you very
I'll,
much.
I'll repost it. And actually, I wish I could. I can probably get the link. I'll get the link and I'll post it later.
Thank you very much.
And put that.
Joey, they were so kind as to we're gonna. They didn't offer. I kind of said I spoke on behalf of
Did you
GMG.
shame them into?
They know they're gonna do an autographed signed copy for us. So from
Absolutely.
time to time, we can tell people about the book.
Ron
We're gonna get a
Is
pre-copy
Ron
from
Gilson
everybody
gonna sign it?
else.
Absolutely.
Am I in there?
You're in there.
Of course
You're
you're
in
in
there.
there. My
Yeah.
God.
For
Ron,
Christ's sakes.
what we're going to
That's
do,
what are you doing here? For Christ's sakes, you're the
Ron-
star of the show.
we're going to have a book signing party.
Oh,
And,
great! That's good
the
to know.
friends will sponsor it. And at least what I'd love to see happen, and you're going to have to come out. You and your lovely wife, Jill, have to come back up again. And we're going to have, I can just see having a long table with 28 people. And to your question, a few people have
Kind of
passed.
sounds like the Last Supper to me. I don't know if that's a good idea.
And they'll sign, they'll
I'm
sign
getting
and,
close.
That's brilliant. That is brilliant.
By the way, we lost a couple people. I mean, again,
course, yeah.
97 years old was the oldest, and she's still living, by the way.
Is
Barbara
Joe
Matt.
Mondello in it?
No,
No, you didn't
I
put
wish-
Joe the cobbler in it?
no, he was a dear friend of my dad's.
What'd you
Joe Mondello, the cobbler.
Oh, Joe.
Over by
he's
Yellow
still
Sub.
with us.
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
Joe. Yeah.
Good guy.
Mike Linquata.
God bless
He's
Joe.
96 years old. I've been down, visiting with him during COVID. He's ready for a party. He
Yeah.
wants to have a signing.
I love it.
You were asking, by the way, these are some of this is from Jenny Parisi. This is back in the fort. Her mother's birthday party. So she would have been like 120 years old this year. That's
Wow,
in the
look at
book.
that.
Look at that photograph. This is what people have been sharing, sharing their lives.
Wonderful. Wonderful photos.
I believe your mother's, one of her good friends is in the book. Her name is Florence Parisi Martin.
Oh, Florence Bond.
And Florence, she is hysterically funny. I've spent hours with Florence over at her house. The Parisi family, we have photographs going back to the original Parisis, going back to like the 1890s. Phil Parisi, the fisherman. So, I mean, again, I won't bore. We're all visual, and just seeing these photographs will just be amazing for everyone.
That's wonderful.
I'm hearing the
can
stories.
The mouse, can you scroll down? Because I know that there may be some more comments. I just want to make sure we don't miss anybody's questions. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comment section. There you go, Scotty. Good job, buddy. You can still scroll down some more.
Buffet.
Oh, we get who's this? Diana Brown from
Dana
Maine.
Brown,
Denise?
from Damascotta. Dana
Oh.
Brown.
We asked people to chime in and let us know where they're from, so thank you so much.
Cool.
Scotty.
All right, hold
click
on a
that,
second
Click
here.
on that comment and it'll show up on the screen. Just click it once. There you go. And then you can scroll down. Congratulations to all. This is from Nina Testaverde. Good. Congratulations to all involved in taking the time to record these important human stories of Cape Ann so they can be preserved and shared with all. What you are doing takes a lot of work, heart, and soul. It is the people of a community that are its true treasures.
Oh, thank you very much.
sweet.
That is nice.
I just want to let Ron know that your mother has chimed in to say hello.
My mother, Pat. My mother, Pat.
Joey's
said
mother,
to say
Pat. She says hello.
I'll tell you, if I was 40 years younger, I'd make a play for her.
Oh my God, you're going to get us into trouble.
hi. There we go. Read that comment right there.
Paul, can you read that?
Let's see. From who? Barbara? Brenda
Andrew,
Grimes Davis?
Andrew Weiner.
Where's Andrew's Winer's
Well,
comment?
you have the cursor over it, so we can't read it. Scott.
No, it's on the bottom of the screen right there.
Oh, I remember Mary Breck,
Yeah,
who worked
where
for
are
my
we?
dad at Sterling's. Ron.
What's that?
This is from Andrew Weiner. He said, I remember Mary Breck, who worked for my dad at Sterling's. Her stepson, actor Peter Breck, who would always come in and sign autographs.
That's so nice.
May even have pics I can digitize and or donate.
Really?
Do you
Very
remember those
nice.
people? Remember those people?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mary Breck, was she secretary at the Gloucester High School for years?
I was going to say GHS.
I
Absolutely.
remember Mary Breck, and she was a wonderful
Yes.
woman.
She was.
She worked
Yeah.
in the guidance
Yeah.
counselor office at the desk as a secretary.
Now you're
Yeah.
reminding me exactly.
So you're back visiting from where, Ron?
What's that?
Where are you back from? You're living somewhere else now, and you're back here visiting right now?
I've lived in Gloucester all my life,
Yeah.
but just last March, we moved, my son's urging and so forth, we moved to Weems, Virginia, because I have no family left here, and he's my only son, and of course his sons and grandchildren and great-grandchildren. And I just happen to have a lovely picture
Of grandchildren?
of the newest member of our
Oh, let's share
family.
that.
The first
Let's share
girl.
that.
We have 8 boys in our family. My wife and I had 2 sons.
Yeah.
one son deceased. The other son had 3 boys himself, and they had 3 great-grandsons, all boys, if you will.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And on September 8th of this year,
He got the girl.
our newest
Showing the new
great-granddaughter
Great granddaughter.
just arrived, and I'll tell you, she is absolutely, absolutely beautiful. And I want to show you. I'm very proud of my little girl.
If you don't have it, I have it.
You have it?
Yeah,
Okay.
hold on.
Great granddaughter. First great granddaughter in the family,
Kamira Ann.
huh?
She's arrived on the scene, and God love her. I
Ron,
look
can I
at
ask you
that-
a question? Because I know that Brenda Graham Davis mentioned this, and it's true. We should mention your book, An Island No More. Is it still available at the bookstore of Gloucester?
I just happen to have a few copies available. And all of you are more than welcome. If Joey coordinates the addresses, I'll see that you all get a copy of my book.
Oh, wow.
Gee, I
More
feel like
than
I'm on
that.
Oprah right now. Hey, you get a book. You get a book. You get
What's
a
under
book.
the chair? What's under the chair? What do you got hidden under here?
It's a great book. No, it's
I love it.
As far as
Thank
I'm
you so
concerned,
much.
It's the best book about the heyday of fishing in Gloucester out of anywhere.
Put that on the.
Yes, sir. I'll get
There's my
And,
grandson's wife
and notice the
with the
T-shirt
new
she's got on.
baby.
Oh,
And
yeah.
if
Oh,
you'll notice
oh,
the good
gorgeous
morning
shirt.
Hey, I was
Gloucester.
going to say, look at the GMG shirt.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, those are
Where
nice.
did she get that?
Well,
The shirt.
That was
here's
fun.
the story behind the shirt. This girl, and I love her dearly, and she's a beautiful girl and everything, but she does not do anything that isn't staged. Okay? So years ago, Joey was peddling these sweatshirts or shirts,
Pedaling.
women's shirts, and
You're peddling shirts,
I'm
Joey?
thinking of something
I'm
I
writing
can-
that down. Word.
So
Pedaling.
I bought one and I gave it to her. A couple of weeks ago, I said, Nicole, why don't you have a picture of yourself and the baby, and I'll ask Joey, my friend, to put it on the blog. She went upstairs. She's visiting my son from Williamsport, Pennsylvania, and she just happened to pull out of a suitcase this Good Morning Gloucester sweatshirt.
Perfect.
So I says, hey,
Can't beat it.
tell me that wasn't planned.
No.
Anyway,
That's
Smart
That's
girl.
a good way to get yourself, some
Yeah.
publicity.
Absolutely.
I would be remiss if I didn't mention we have 5 prizes today if you share the podcast and type shared. Now I haven't had the time because Pat usually gets all the names, but what I will do is once the podcast is over, I'll go through the list and write all the names down, and we'll do a live picking of the prizes. But Joe was very, very generous. Donated this. I'll go this way. There we go. Right here, this awesome hat, snapback hat, high quality from Joe's Fresh Fish Prints. You can also go to his website, fishimpressions.com. That's one prize. We have these shirts. These are performance tees, just in time for Halloween. We print the dead with a striper print on it. You also eat them, is that right, Joe?
That's right. You got to eat them. If you're going to print them, you have to eat
You
them.
gotta eat
print
them.
them and eat them. Then
No
we have
ways.
2 mugs. This is from Wayne the Mailman.
Just want to have sun. That's
Just want to
cute.
have some really high quality. And this one right here. So each one of those will be a prize. Okay, I'm going to ask you guys. Should they be individual prizes or should we do them as a set?
Oh.
Individual.
Yeah.
I think individual.
All right, so
The
everyone
nice,
gets a little.
the nice
More
prize,
people-
give everybody a chance.
More people win.
Fine.
You get a book. You get a
Exactly.
book.
All right, so there's 5 chances to win if you share the podcast.
Throw in some buttons. They can have 6.
We'll throw a button for every prize winner. They'll
Wonderful.
They'll get a button. as well.
Wonderful.
This is one of the biggest prize outings we've had in a very long time.
Big. So next Sunday,
What else can we throw in?
we will have we're going to be doing the Bloody Mary contest, which I'm really excited
Oh,
about.
nice.
It's going to be a blast.
Is
Okay,
I'll leave
Is that
those.
here or is that at
it's
a
going to be right here. Yeah, right.
Joe, is there any symbolism to the blue pen rather than the black pen in your hat?
Do I have two
Do
pens?
you-
Do I have 2 pens?
No,
I have
do you
one
prefer
pen.
blue pen or black, or is it
I'm a blue pen guy.
you're a blue pen guy?
Blue pen guy. Yeah. blue pen. And as a matter of fact, these are not my favorite pens. These are Bic. I like the Bic pens, but I like
That's what I
the
use too.
thicker one, the thicker version
I use
of
that one.
this. This right here is just a little too dainty.
Do you like with the rubber flat mat, or does it has to be straight plastic?
I like the almost like the translation.
This is what I live with.
Oh,
I
that's
carry
a nice pen.
these are just Bics. I have 50 in a box up at Staples.
That's a value.
That's a nice pen, but if I had those laying around the office here, they'd get
They'd be
clipped, so I
stolen.
have to have a little bit cheaper pen. That's the way we want.
So you're still on Joe. When you were on Joe Higgins for a second, we had some sort of a contest. We were going to see how fast Joe could get to Salem today to his location.
Oh, but we won't be on still at the time that we.
I feel like when the Red Sox did this, then everything went downhill.
Tell me about it.
That's exactly.
That's exactly it.
We should mention Adventure Man's book is now available in the U.S. and Good Morning Gloucester gets a shout out. So, are you guys familiar with Adventure Man? Joe Higgins is. Do you remember? Were you around when Adventure Man, the guy that ran around the United States, did the marathon?
Remember that?
Yeah.
Paul, you familiar? So Jamie, I went to visit him in England. He's from Gloucester, England, Gloucestershire, England. Very, very generous host over there. But his book about his travel around the perimeter of the United States, he did a marathon after marathon after marathon, and from all the way around the perimeter of the United States, not the northern border, but from Washington State to Gloucester, Massachusetts, Texas, California, all the way up the coast. And the book is fascinating. He's a fascinating guy. He gives shout outs to the Crow's Nest because we went and partied there when we got in. The Cape Ann Motor Inn, Ray Johnston and Sherry Zizik and the Beauport Hotel for their hospitality, and the mayor, and he also gave a shout out to Nicole, Pat, and myself for the warm welcome he had when he got into town, which I thought was really nice. So you can go to Amazon and look for Adventure. Type in Adventure Man, you'll see that book will be available. I don't know if we want to go any further because we're at an hour 20 minutes right now. We can save some things for next week. Andrew Weiner says thanks for the great memories, Ron. Pauline Bresnahan says I can't read it now. Scotty. Can you take the cursor off of it? Oh, you put it.
I put it up.
Okay. I worked on Main Street for Mr. Blanchard, and remember when his wife was kidnapped? Mr. Blanchard's wife was kidnapped.
As in the jeweler, Mr. Blanchard.
Remember that. I don't.
Jeez, I didn't know that story.
Oh.
That's interesting. Peter Tarantino says, great show, everyone. Paula Ryan O'Brien says, Adventure Man was awesome. Francine Ruda says, great show.
Because of Ron. Let's get rid of Chris and just have Ron every week. We'll be
big upgrade. Big upgrade.
Yeah, huge upgrade.
You instead of McCarthy.
Maybe you should be in
big
part
upgrade.
of
We should have had Ron wear the Viking hat.
Yeah.
He didn't wear the Viking hat. They would have looked the same. They've got the same amount of hair.
Did you go to the Air Supply concert?
Yeah, do you like Air Supply?
So there we go. You want it, Scotty? Do you want to do the so as far as the do you have what's the website so we can type it in?
Oh,
can you give me the keyboard? Or if you can type it in, Scotty?
One of those wires.
Okay, I'll type it in. All right. What is the website now?
website is all lowercase pastisapresent.org.
Oh, Scott, hold on 1 second. I'll put it in there.
It's great to get those stories from these guys.
Yeah, no, this is
And
such a treat.
there's
I
actually
haven't seen it in a long time.
There's a website called Storyworth. Have you heard of that?
Yes.
It's great. So my mother-in-law and my mom, I sent it to my mother. I think it costs like $30.
Yeah.
They send a question to my mom, my mother-in-law every week. Me, my wife, and the kids pick out the questions. And it's like, what was it like when you grew up? How was your relationship with your dad? Or you can make up your own questions, but there's a list of 500 questions on there. So every week they get a question, and then they can talk about it as much as they want and expound on it. But it's like you're getting your family's history, through their eyes as a answering question session. And then at the end of it, you could print it out.
That's pretty brilliant.
You
Yeah.
can print
And
out
then
a
you can
book.
save it.
Very nice.
Yeah, so
You can save it
so
for your heirs.
yeah, exactly. So that's what my mother-in-law's doing. That my mom's doing it, and
What is it called again?
Storyworth.
www.storyworth.
Storyworth, and I don't know if it's a .com or .org. I think it's .com.
All right, I'm gonna put it in this .com.
Yeah.
If the link doesn't work, people go to the .org thing.
It's fantastic. Good way to get your
Joe,
family.
while you're doing
history.
that, let's do this segment
Okay.
real quick.
Okay, sure.
We're gonna go to the fishbowl.
I have a question for Chris Thompson for Ron.
Okay, let's do that first.
Ron, do you go to the senior center? He has a World War I photo, and he's was wondering if you might be able to ID some of the people in it.
World War One.
Yeah, were you alive for that?
Joey. Was 1917. No, I was not.
Oh, no.
1947.
I didn't arrive till 1933, and I wasn't cognizant of what was going on.
He said he was
until
graduating high school in 1951, right? Did you say you graduated high school in
I think they got the-
1951? 47. What year did you graduate high school?
1951.
That's what I thought you said, yeah.
He was a gleam in his father's eye.
It wasn't even a thought back then.
Yeah,
1917.
you got that right.
All right, you want to pull one from the fishbowl?
Scotty's having so much fun, he doesn't want this to end.
Let's have them pull one of the topics from the. So this is the fishbowl topics that we haven't gotten to in past shows that do not get read off on our show notes. We go to the fishbowl and then we have a random selection so that nobody gets butthurt that their question didn't get used.
Now, this is interesting. Baby picture contest from Chris.
Okay, well
Let's go to another one. That's Chris's topic. We don't need that. He's not here. He's hung over from Air Supply.
Yeah.
nice use of the button.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, I see. Oh, my God. Today's toilet talk topic. How comfortable are you farting while using the toilet urinal? Let's just assume all toilet talk is McCarthy.
Yeah. See, this is why Ron's a big upgrade.
Why don't you go, Scott?
So look, can you read that again just so I can get the actual context of what I'm supposed to answer? Let me see this.
I think the premise is you're in a. I think the premise is
he's not here. He turns it into a shit.
This is
show.
Chris McCarthy,
Literally.
and as you all know, he's the poop guy here on GMG. So this is coming straight from the fishbowl, not the toilet bowl. But his topic, today's toilet talk topic is how comfortable are you farting while using the toilet or urinal? Now, is that in public, or is that a public restroom, or at home, or in a hotel room?
I'm assuming that he's talking about, like, say you're at the Beauport Hotel, and there's a bunch of urinals next to you.
Okay, so a public restroom, not like if you're on vacation with your.
No, I'm assuming this is you're at a public venue, and you're using the restroom, and are you trying to hide?
I tend.
She's
right here.
She's right outside.
So my answer would be to this. My first response to this would be, I tend not to use those if I can help it. And if I have to, and it's an emergency situation,
You do.
I make sure I pull my feet back far enough so nobody knows what shoes I'm wearing. So when I'm done and they're gone, they don't know it was me.
Okay.
Interesting. So you go to those lengths.
Wow.
Well, yeah, because I mean, what if it's just a real good one or something, and then you got to pull your shoes back so they don't know what shoes you're wearing when you walk out.
That's almost like upper decker level move right there. You know what the upper decker is?
That's experience.
Does anybody else have any?
Hello.
I
What a great entrance. Thank you. Thank you for that entrance.
I gotta go to Salem. So
All right.
Oh, all right.
Joe?
Hi.
See you, Joe.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
Joe, I'll be ordering
Nice
for
talking
Do
to
you
you.
have any input on this?
No. No.
Good.
Yeah, no. I'm kind of like Scotty. If I can avoid public restrooms, I avoid public
All
restroom.
right, I'll take
Then I
just
think
so-
it's
just so we
your
don't-
responsibility to be cognizant of your noises. Yeah, you need to be
Dad?
cognizant of your noises.
Bob Ryan is a dear friend of mine who is also in the Gloucester 28, which is what we're being interviewed about.
Did you get that? My dad, Bob Ryan. I want everybody to know that. It's my Uncle Bobby.
Your Uncle Bobby. Yeah,
But that's okay. I'll take him as a dad. I love him.
He would like to consider you as his
Good.
daughter. So
That's it then. We're done. He's my father now.
There you go.
I just want to point out that we're in a lobster shack, but there's lots of bait and lobster and this
and it smells wonderful.
Yeah.
it now smells wonderful that you've arrived.
Oh, thank
Your
you.
perfume is a godsend right now.
Thank you
So
so
Heidi,
much.
Heidi has a huge announcement to make. So Scotty,
Oh,
you're gonna
turn it
take, you're
over.
gonna take the segment here.
Okay, all right.
You ready? Huge announcement.
So Heidi is here at GMG Studios on the Saturday edition, and I guess she has a huge announcement. We're huge, like monumental, grande.
Well, this is monumental because
Okay.
it's big. Because what is bigger in town than our brand new Cape Ann YMCA?
Absolutely.
Correct.
Absolutely.
What is
Nice.
bigger? And everyone, it's a huge community center. It's a meeting place. They have a cafe. They have all kinds of classes. And I am here to say now they're going to have professional theater training for young people.
I saw that yesterday
Nice.
in the paper.
Nice. Well done. Well done.
Thank you.
So take the viewers through the process, in short or long if you'd like. But what was the process of trying to get this done, and how did this idea spark to become part of the YMCA program?
Well, it was.
Sorry, Heidi.
That's okay. Let's get close here.
I'm in.
You like my perfumes. That's good. Well, what happened was I've always admired the Y and love what they do. And they're for healthy development of young people, and they're inclusive. And it was the same kind of value set I have in teaching and working with kids, which I've been doing for about 18 years. And, I grew up in Gloucester, and I was an acting kid. I went to theater. I didn't play sports. I loved theater. And I couldn't find a place for theater training in Gloucester. Even on Cape Ann, my mom had to take a vacation day and drive me to Beverly and Danvers, and I wanted to offer something here for those kids, and for not just kids that are interested in theater. I've had, the Turner boys, hockey players, the biggest golfers in the state. They are my students. They still help me. They're at Dartmouth, and they still come back and help me. And their sister Lainey is at Tulane, and they all come back. And, really creating a community of positive reinforcement and helping kids to grow into, poised, confident young adults. And that could be anybody. I mean, think about if you had a lot of theater training. I mean,
I've got my
what a difference.
theater training right here. At
you'd be
GMG.
president. You'd be president. So the Y had the same, values, and they have that beautiful new space. And Bob Gillis, who is a huge supporter of,
Congratulations on Bob's retirement, by the way, from the Cape Ann Savings Bank. Congratulations,
And
Bob.
small businessman.
And small business.
Small Businessman of the Year. And he is so devoted to the community. And I've done for 11 years a huge community show called Holiday Delights with about 55 kids in it. And
What's
Bob's
the age range?
5 to 18. So, I mean, are you thinking of a cameo or something? I don't know.
Yeah, well, see.
Do you have to be actually
You can be
literally
bad
5 to
Santa.
18, or can you
Right
just?
in the bad Santa, and
So
then
here's-
Scotty would be a natural.
So if 18 is the oldest, you. Yeah.
It's funny that you asked that question, because I've actually thought about it in the past. But you could change. You can change your. You can't change your age. Is the only thing you can't change. You can change legally now your address. You can change your name. You can change your gender. You cannot change your age.
Some
If I could
actors
cha-
try to, though.
If I could change my age, I would take your class and be in that 5 to 18 bracket.
Well,
Absolutely.
you know what? Maybe you're giving me another idea. We get this
Absolutely.
going. Maybe we'll do an adult class.
There you go.
You know,
I mean, I'd
Interesting.
Acting.
actually take that.
acting.
Yeah,
All
just
right, an adult class. Well, hopefully the Y will hear this. And I tell you, everyone has been so amazing at the Y. But Bob is a huge Y guy, and we were discussing. I was like, yeah, try the Y. And of course, Tim Flaherty, is
Yep.
just such a great guy and so open and, just wanting to make the Y a real community center.
What kind of scheduling are you looking at right now? Is it 1 day? Is it 2 days? Take us
Right
through
now
that.
it's 2 days.
2 days.
So I'm starting off, it's been between COVID and getting started at the Y and all of that. Normally, I'm doing classes all fall, I'm doing classes all summer, I'm doing classes all winter, but, I'm starting a little later than usual. So we're doing, it's a performance workshop where the kids will come in 2 days a week, and we're going to do selected scenes from the holiday show. And then at the end of it, we are doing a performance, which is it's the same weekend that we usually do the holiday show.
Okay.
We're doing a performance of Holiday Delights, very low key for friends and family. And we're doing it. The Y has a theater. Did you know that?
No.
Really?
In Salem. The Y has a theater, Ames Hall.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's beautiful. It has a balcony and it's got a nice sized stage. And so I want to introduce all of the Gloucester students and all of our young actors to this wonderful performance space in Salem.
Will there be any sort of training on how to get yourself into SAG so you actually get paid for your theater work? Because I wish I had
This
that.
is what you're worried about, isn't it?
No,
You
I mean, no,
Well,
seriously.
let me tell you,
No,
all
because
right.
a lot of people don't get that guidance or even know it's available to them. They just want to get into the acting, and then once they find their spot.
Well, first, I have gotten my students work on movies and TV shows that have come into town. And let me tell you first, there's 2 unions, because I belong to both. They're professional. So theater would be Actors Equity.
Okay.
And then SAG-AFTRA is, they're joint now.
Yeah.
SAG-AFTRA is film, TV, anything, basically on a screen is SAG-AFTRA.
Okay.
So that's the, that's why my hair is cut. That's why
You're a character?
No, I had long hair and I went and did some work on this new HBO Max TV show about Julia Child and starting her PBS show. And, she was in the CIA. I mean, she's really
Absolutely.
Second comment today about the CIA.
CIA.
This is getting scary.
So,
You brought up the first.
and the hair designer for the movie said everyone who works on it takes place in the 50s has to have hair off their shoulders. So I went in with hair there and went out.
You had beautiful long hair. Yeah, I've known you for years.
Yeah.
I can now see the difference in the length that you had. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So, but it was a free haircut. They paid me to get the haircut.
Yeah.
It's a great thing about being in SAG. But with SAG, you have to put in your dues with SAG to get. I did stand-in work for a movie here. It was Steven Spielberg's wife. I did stand-in work for that.
Okay.
And that was what got me, because when you're stand-in, you get paid union. And if you get a union job, then that means you can join.
Let's bring it back to the innocence of the kids getting into the YMCA program. I got off topic myself. But
that's all right. It's interesting because kids are always...
How do they sign up? How do they get involved? I mean, how do you get the kids to the YMCA? Do they have to be members of the YMCA? They can just take your class? So bring us through some of that.
So you do not have to be a member, although I highly recommend you join because it's fabulous. And you can also use facilities at other Ys, North Shore Ys as well. They reciprocate. But you definitely don't have to be a Y member. If your child has a membership or there's a family membership, you get a discount on the class price. And then if you're not a member of the Y, then there's another price, which is pretty standard with all the Y programs.
Yeah.
So you can go to the Y website. You can email me, DallinH at northshoreymca.org. And I am happy, or you can call my cell phone.
Sure.
I'm kind of a vagabond right now because I'm starting this program, and I'm also the Y runs Manchester Essex drama program for the middle school and the elementary school. And this week I just cast Annie Jr. at Manchester Middle School. Cast list hasn't been announced, so I can't say anything.
Mm.
Yeah, it's going to be sent out to the actors tonight or tomorrow.
That
And
would be nice if we can have a Good Morning Gloucester exclusive of who the new cast is for Andy Jr., wouldn't
I'm sure people are sitting on the edge of the seat.
well, you know, we could break some news about the West Parish cast of Shrek.
it? Oh.
You know,
See?
there's someone in this room that is very close to one of the cast members. Yeah, yeah.
Who's that?
Looks wise or relative wise?
Relative wise. Relative wise. Looks well, if we need a photo double for Shrek, maybe. Well,
That is awesome news, Heidi. That is, I think what I'm most excited about is that your holiday delights is not going away, because I know it meant a lot to the community. People were really super into that, and it was so inclusive how many kids participated in all the grades. What I think is really important, and which is awesome about your acting classes and stuff, this is an opportunity for young people that may not be sports or athletically inclined, and all the rigors and demands of like today's sports, like the schedules and stuff, that to acting and acting classes, it's so personal, and you get to developmentally for children that may not, especially after the last couple of years where they've been stuck home with COVID and stuff like that, to get out there and interact. There's nothing more personal than interacting in a stage kind of environment. Sports, obviously, to me is very important. I'm a huge sports guy, but this is a great opportunity for kids to get involved. And the Y's, if the YMCA has done such great things in the community. So thank you for all the work you're doing.
thank you. And they have committed to Holiday Delights. They
This is awesome.
want to keep it, and we're doing it in Salem. It's just small this year. Next year we'll be back with 50 kids, and kids are doing a lot of different activities. So I wanted to make it. Normally we're rehearsing all the time. This will be very low stress with the rehearsals. And we'll be back in Gloucester next year. I'm already looking at spaces to do it in Gloucester.
Awesome.
So
Thanks for coming in, Heidi.
Thank
Ron, thank you guys so much for coming
Yes.
in.
Thank you.
Check out that.
Thanks for the hug, Ron. Thanks for the hug.
And,
My proxy.
oh, and K-Band Symphony's coming back.
Okay, that's fantastic. We'll have you to send us some press releases. I got to get going right now.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us. Give me this one right here, Scotty. Give me this
How
one.
about the piping blowers?
That's what I'm calling for.
Nice. I'm here for you.
You blew it!
Ladies and gentlemen, no piping plovers were injured in the filming of this podcast. Thank you very much.
You know Jim Del.
Little town with big news. 411, come get the scoop. Wake up with Joe and the rest of his crew. It's good morning, Gloucester, to you. Oh, it's good morning, Gloucester,